Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at the Nacsport Descriptor Law so you can ensure that your descriptors are going in the right place that you need them. So the main thing you need to know about the Descriptor Law is that a descriptor goes into any active category and the last pressed category. So an active category is something that we call a manual mode category, and the last pressed category would be any of the categories which have a preset time. So if I edit this template, I can see that this button up here, which I've called manual category, if I go and look at the behavior, I can see that it's in manual mode. It has this border around it and it's in manual mode. So when this is on, it's going to be an active category. These other categories that I have here have just a preset time. So they're not active categories as in they're always on like the manual mode, but they could become a last press category. So in the registering environment, we've got a video playing. And when I turn this on, my manual mode category, it has the lines through it, and I can see that this is an active category. So if I now go and press a descriptor, I can see that that descriptor has gone into it. I'm checking this by using the play-by-play table. So now I can see that that category has been registered and a descriptor has gone into it. You might be using the register control. And if so, you'll see the name of the category up here and then the descriptors underneath it with some dashes before. Okay, so a descriptor going into a manual mode, if I press a category now, any descriptor that I press afterwards will go into that category. So I can press descriptor 1, if I press descriptor 2, it goes into it as well. In our register control, there's a setting down here where you can say let the same descriptor be used several times in a category. So with that in mind, this was the last press category. If I press descriptor 1 again, I can see that that's gone in multiple times. If that setting was off, I would only have one example of descriptor 1 in there and one descriptor 2. But where this law really comes into play is if you've got a manual mode button on and then you press another category. So let's turn this manual mode button on, and I now go and press this category again. So I have an active category and the last press category. If I now press a descriptor, I can see down here again in my play-by-play, all the register control, that that descriptor has gone into both of them because this category is still active and this one is the last pressed. And if I press descriptor 2, that goes into both of them. But now by keeping the active mode button on, if I press the second category, that has now become the last pressed one. So if I press descriptor 1, that goes into the last pressed and also again goes into the active category that's on. Same with pressing descriptor 2. The other times you would have descriptor showing up is if you're using the automatically added descriptor feature. So if I right click this button now and say activate auto add descriptor, has a black line around the red descriptor dot. So again, if I press this active category now, instantly it has that first half descriptor. If I press a preset category, that also has it. And again, the same rule applies, that any descriptors I now press are going into the last press category and any active category. However, there is one way that you can override this. So if you come to your register control window and press the settings, down here you've got an option that says descriptors are only added into the last clicked category. So if we turn that on, and again I'll just show you that that's ticked on, if I now went and pressed this manual mode button, our active category, if I now press descriptor 1, that obviously goes into there because it was an active category. If I then, let's say, press this category, which is my last pressed one, and I'm going to press descriptor 2 now, you'll see that that descriptor 2 has only gone into the last press category and not the active category. So that's overrided our main descriptor law that we looked at. And that's by having this setting on here so that descriptors are only added into the last clicked category. So again, if I press another category and a descriptor, the descriptor goes into the last press category, but it's not going into that manual mode category, which is on at the same time. Okay, so there's a lot more template laws to cover in the full template law video, but this is what you'll come across with 90% of things. So the descriptor law is really important for you to know. So hopefully this video helps clarify some things there. Enjoy.